Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone delivered a breathtaking performance in the Olympic 400 meters hurdles final, once again shattering her own world record to claim gold. Clocking in at an extraordinary 50.37 seconds, she became the first athlete in history to break the 51-second barrier in this event. This marks the sixth time McLaughlin-Levrone has set a world record in the 400 meters hurdles, a testament to her unparalleled dominance in the sport. At just 25 years old, McLaughlin-Levrone has firmly established herself as one of the most formidable athletes of her generation. Her victory at the Stade de France was nothing short of commanding, as she surged ahead of her competitors with a display of speed and technique that left no doubt about her supremacy. The formidable Dutch star, Femke, who has been a strong contender throughout the season, could only manage a third-place finish with a time of 52.15 seconds. Meanwhile, USA's Anna Cockrell claimed the silver medal, crossing the line in 51.87 seconds, highlighting the depth of American talent in the event. McLaughlin-Levrone's gold medal is historic, making her the first American to defend gold in an individual track event since the legendary Michael Johnson, who achieved back-to-back 400 meters victories in the 1996 and 2000 Olympics. Her achievement not only cements her place in Olympic history, but also sets the stage for her potential participation in the 400-meter relay later this week, where she could secure her third Olympic gold medal. The evening was a successful one for Team USA, as they also saw success in the men's 200-meter. Reigning 100-meter champion Noah Lyles added a bronze medal to his collection despite battling a COVID infection, while his compatriot Kenny Bednarek secured the silver medal. The gold went to Botswana's Letsile Tebogo, who delivered a stellar performance to claim victory. As the Olympics continue, all eyes will be on McLaughlin-Levrone as she prepares to compete in the 400-meter relay, where another gold medal could further elevate her already illustrious career. Meanwhile, Team USA looks to add more medals to their tally, showcasing her incredible talent. Words like unreal, brilliant, and incredible are often used to describe this American champion as she heads to Paris. Unlike others, McLaughlin-Levrone doesn't set lofty goals. She simply proves herself time and time again. When asked what she's most looking forward to, she said it's the experience and having the world come together at the Olympics. But that doesn't mean she's taking it easy on her competitors. She's motivated by the idea that there's always more that can be achieved, and knowing her, there's a lot more she can do. Even she acknowledges that there's no such thing as a perfect race, always seeking areas for improvement. These expectations set the stage for what fans hope to see in Paris, a new world record. Crossing the finish line, McLaughlin-Levrone often feels a weight lifted off her shoulders. Unsurprisingly, along with three-time world champion Grant Holloway, she was named the captain of Team USA Track and Field for the 2024 Paris Olympics. The track and field events recently commenced at the Stade de France, the country's largest stadium, and McLaughlin-Levrone will compete in the women's 400-meter hurdles in her quest to defend her Olympic title. After missing the indoor season this Olympic year due to an injury, McLaughlin-Levrone put on a dominant display in the outdoor season, maintaining an unbeaten streak and setting a new world record in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 50.65 seconds at the U.S. Olympic trials. Her stunning performance at the trials qualified her for her third consecutive Olympic Games. In a post-race interview, she spoke about lowering her world record and breaking the 50-second barrier, saying, "I would love to dip under 50 at some point. I don't know if that's this year, next year, or whenever. but it's about always chipping away and seeing what's possible. As she prepares to defend her title, McLaughlin-Levrone faces tough competition from Dutch athlete Femke, who has been in top form during the outdoor season with a personal best of 50.25 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles. Just a few weeks ago, it seemed no one could prevent McLaughlin-Levrone from winning gold in Paris, but Bowles's recent performances suggest it might not be an easy victory. Bowles, who had previously run 51.45 seconds in London in 2023, shattered her personal best on July 14th at a meet in Switzerland with a time of 50.95 seconds. With that, she joined McLaughlin-Levrone as one of only two women to run sub-51 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles. Although Bowles was already the second fastest woman in history before her new personal best, a win over McLaughlin-Levrone would be one of the biggest upsets in Olympic history. The last time McLaughlin-Levrone and Bowles faced each other was at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where McLaughlin-Levrone won gold with a world record, and Bowles took home the bronze. Despite Bowles' progress, many still believe it will be McLaughlin-Levrone who triumphs this time. Her potential gold medal is just one of many projected for Team USA, which is favored to win the most gold medals. Even Bowles acknowledges McLaughlin-Levrone's greatness, calling her racing inspirational and motivational, and noting how she raises the bar. With track and field currently taking center stage at the 2024 Paris Olympics, McLaughlin-Levrone and Noah Lyles are each on the verge of becoming the new faces of track and field. Being the face of a sport means being the athlete most associated with it, often the best or most successful in that field. For example, Patrick Mahomes is often thought of in the NFL, LeBron James in the NBA, Novak Djokovic in men's tennis, Max Verstappen in Formula One, and of course, Simone Biles in gymnastics. In track and field, several athletes stand out, such as Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Shericka Jackson, and American Sha'Carri Richardson. While some may argue Richardson is the current face, no one has fully taken the mantle since Usain Bolt retired in 2017. Before Bolt, athletes like Michael Johnson, Carl Lewis, Florence Griffith Joyner, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Wilma Rudolph, and Jesse Owens were the faces of track and field. With McLaughlin-Levrone's dominance in the 400-meter hurdles over the past few years, she is well on her way to claiming that title. No female or male hurdler has ruled the event like McLaughlin-Levrone since Edwin Moses in the late 1970s to late 1980s. Moses, a two-time Olympic gold medalist in the 400-meter hurdles, won 122 consecutive races in the event between 1977 and 1987 and set the world record 4 different times. McLaughlin-Levrone surpassed him when she set a new world record in her specialty event for the 5th time last June. Simply put, McLaughlin-Levrone is on the path to becoming one of the greatest in the sport. Beyond her achievements on the track, McLaughlin-Levrone is also highly marketable, with brand endorsement deals with New Balance, Tag Heuer, Gatorade, Neutrogena, and more likely to follow after the Paris Olympics. Overall, she is one of the many Team USA favorites expected to bring home gold medals from their respective events. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone's journey from her dominant high school performances at Union Catholic to setting the world record for the 5th time last June is a testament to her endless potential. As she heads into this legacy-building summer, the question has always been, how many chances will she have to add to her medal tally? She plans to defend her 2 gold medals from Tokyo, where she won gold in the women's 400-meter hurdles and the women's 4-hour 400-meter relay. The Team USA star is expected to compete in both events shortly and is a favorite to return to the top of the podium. The women's 400-meter hurdles competition at the Paris Olympics will begin with 6 heats in the first round. The top 3 athletes in each heat will move on to the semi-finals, with those who do not qualify having a chance to compete in a repechage round. In the semi-finals, the top 2 in each of the 3 heats, along with the 2 fastest athletes not already qualified, will advance to the final. It's expected that McLaughlin-Levrone will be among those on the starting line in the final.
Women's 400 hurdles final, Sydney McLaughlin right in the middle. There she is.
A perfect lane draw for Sydney because we know that she is going to get out hard and her chief competitors are in front of her.
In the female world of hurdling and sprinting, Sydney is not only a big shot, but she is known globally for her incredible performance at the Tokyo Olympics. The American-born track and field star has been making significant waves in the world of sprinting, but her 2021 victory became the icing on the cake.
It's going to be Sydney's time again, and it's a world record again! She's the world's fastest 400-meter hurdler and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Sydney has not only taken the world by storm with her impressive speed on the track, but also brought her country more glory and placed her on the global stage. However, Sydney's life is not without ups and downs, as she has had to overcome many obstacles to get where she is. But these challenges seem unending, as she is said to be currently facing a situation. So what could be happening to the American star, and how could it impact her performance in the Olympics? You don't want to miss out.
With the Tokyo Olympics 1 week away, we are joined by an athlete to watch, but don't blink or you'll miss her. 21-year-old Sydney McLaughlin is being hailed as the future of track and field.
Sydney's first wins, the unbeatable Sydney McLaughlin has been the face of American female track and field sports, and she is arguably the best there is. However, it is not surprising when you look at her history and family background. Coming from a family of athletic parents who both have their background in sports, she needed this necessary exposure to set the stage for her future success. From a young age, Sydney showed great promise in track and field. She attended Union Catholic High School, where she quickly made a name for herself.
Another New Jersey native is bringing home the gold from the Summer Olympics. Union Catholic High School alum Sydney McLaughlin placed first in the 400-meter hurdles, setting a new world record of 51.46 seconds.
At just 16, Sydney qualified for the 2016 Rio Olympics, becoming one of the youngest athletes to make the U.S. Olympic team in track and field since 1972.
A New Jersey teenager is headed to Rio, and once Sydney McLaughlin runs at the Olympics, she'll be on record as the youngest U.S. track and field Olympian since 1972.
Although she didn't win a medal in Rio, her participation was remarkable for someone so young, and this is where it all began for Sydney. Sydney's specialty is the 400-meter hurdles, a demanding race requiring speed and precision. In 2018, she broke the world junior record in this event, running it in just 52.75 seconds. This record was a clear sign that she was destined for greatness. However, her big breakthrough came in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics. Sydney won the gold medal in the 400-meter hurdles and set a new world record with a time of 51.46 seconds.
A new world record for American runner Sydney McLaughlin. She took gold in the women's 400-meter hurdles with a time of 51.46 seconds.
This stunning performance made headlines around the world, but she didn't stop there. She also helped the U.S. women's 4x400-meter relay team win gold, solidifying her track and field superstar status. One exciting aspect of Sydney's career is her decision to turn professional while still in college. She signed up with New Balance in 2018, which allowed her to compete at the highest levels and receive professional support while continuing her education.
At 18 years old, Sydney McLaughlin has already been an Olympian, part of a world record medley relay, and she set the NCAA record this spring in the 400-meter hurdles, 52.75 seconds, in only her third run at it as a collegian.
And it didn't take long before she started breaking old records, setting new ones, and even making them harder to beat. In 2022, Sydney continued her record-breaking streak. At the USA Track and Field Championships, she set another world record in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 51.41 seconds. Later that year, at the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon, she broke her world record again, running the 400-meter hurdles in 50.68 seconds.
Watch the clock, 51.46 is the world record. Sydney McLaughlin, is she close? 51.40! She has done it!
This performance was one of the greatest in track and field history. However, like the typical life of every other athlete, Sydney's life has not always been rosy. She has had her fair share of life's challenges, even in the track and field world. Some days are rough for Sydney McLaughlin. Like all athletes, Sydney has faced tough training sessions and the risk of injuries.
Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone will not be running at the World Championships this year. As shared on her Instagram story, Sydney cited a knee injury as the reason she's missing the World Championships this summer, and I think this is just really bad news for the sprinting world.
Intense training can lead to physical strain, and maintaining peak conditions requires much effort and careful management. Any injury, no matter how small, can be a setback. Sydney has had to work through these physical challenges while focusing on her goals. She acknowledged the physical demands of her sport in an interview when she said training is tough. There are days when her body feels exhausted and injuries are always risky, but those tough days make the victories even sweeter, and she has learned to listen to her body and take care of it. One of Sydney's most significant challenges has been competing against Dalilah Muhammad, another top American hurdler. Dalilah is an Olympic and world champion, and their rivalry pushed Sydney to her limits.
One as an Olympic gold medalist, another a world record holder, and one as an NCAA champion and Olympics newbie. Dalilah Muhammad, Sydney McLaughlin and Anna Cockrell all will compete for a gold medal when the women's 400-meter hurdles final is held Wednesday at Olympic Stadium.
In 2019, Sydney won the silver medal at the World Championships, finishing just behind Dalilah. She claimed to be very sad after the championships, as she could not beat Dalilah at her game. She said competing against Dalilah has been a massive motivator because she pushes her to improve. And every race against Dalilah is a challenge, but also an opportunity to grow and improve. That's not all. You may not know these big stars are under intense pressure to perform their best every time. However, Sydney is one person who has often spoken about the pressure she feels to perform at her best. In an interview, she said she thinks the biggest challenge for her has been managing the expectations. There's always pressure to perform, especially when you have a record to uphold.
U.S. track star Sydney McLaughlin broke her own world record at the 400-meter hurdles.
It can be overwhelming, but she tries to focus on what she can control and take it one race at a time. Unfortunately, also for Sydney, she has faced moments where her mental health felt threatened due to stress and the overwhelming nature of her job. But Sydney says she understands the importance of mental health. According to her, mental health is just as important as physical health. Competing at this level takes a toll on one's mind. However, she has learned to prioritize her mental well-being by taking breaks when needed and surrounding herself with supportive people. The overwhelming ordeal. Undoubtedly, Sydney had quite a season before she cut her season short to focus on her recovery. In an Instagram story, Sydney announced that she would not compete at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary. She said she was sad to share that she would withdraw from the tournament after consulting with her doctors and coaches. The star admitted she needed to take care of a minor knee issue before the Olympics. You would know that Sydney will have fun at the Olympics by checking her incredible performance at the Diamond League in Paris, where she finished with a 49.71 in her first race. But not even an entire month later, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone set a world lead of 48.74 in the event while competing at the USATF Championships in Eugene, Oregon.
It's going to be quick. The world record holder is here. Look out, world. Sydney's back.
While Sydney has not appeared on track since then, fans can expect to see her out and about soon as she tries to qualify for her third consecutive Olympic Games. The 24-year-old is excited to get her Paris 2024 Olympic season in gear as she looks to reproduce her magical moment from Tokyo 2020 when she lowered her world record to 50.68 seconds. In a recent interview with NBC News, she said she wants to be better than she was in Tokyo to improve herself. And even though she doesn't know what event she'll possibly be doing, she wants to represent Team USA very well.
Sydney McLaughlin has once again broken the 400 meters hurdles world record. After winning the gold medal for finishing her race at 50.68 seconds at the World Athletics Championships on Saturday.
Many people believe that even though Sydney's absence at the World Championships is felt, her legacy continues to inspire. Her triumphs at the 2021 Tokyo Games solidified her status as a track superstar, clinching gold in the 400-meter hurdles and breaking the world record. In a recent conversation, she has even shed light on her rigorous preparations for the Paris Olympics, where she aims to surpass her previous triumphs and etch her name in the annals of sporting history once again. Injury, whether debilitating or not, notwithstanding it, she's going to light up the City of Light. That's a given. If there is another thing that has given Sydney serious concerns and makes her feel it might deter her success, it is her health. Many people might not know that the American star has been struggling with asthmatic attacks at a young age. Sydney has had asthma since she was young, and managing it has always been a part of her athletic routine.
You know, there's two ways to look at it. It could either be a gift from God in some way, shape, or form, or you could view it as the end of the world. And I think for me, it was a gift to kind of just reset and to focus on things that maybe I wasn't paying attention to, which was my health, my nutrition, my recovery things.
She talked about an embarrassing incident during a high school championship meet that has plagued her till today. She experienced a severe asthma attack that nearly derailed her race and posed a serious health risk. She narrated that it was a big event with many eyes on her, including scouts, coaches, and media. The pressure to perform was intense. As the race began, Sydney felt confident, but she struggled to breathe halfway through. Her chest tightened, and she felt the familiar but frightening signs of an asthma attack. Asthma attacks can be terrifying because they can escalate quickly, so Sydney felt her airway constricting and panic set in. The fear of being unable to breathe correctly, combined with the pressure of the race, was overwhelming. She knew she had to make a quick decision: stop and get help, or push through and risk her health. Like the typical Sydney we know, she decided to push through despite the fear and discomfort. She slowed, but kept going, focusing on her breathing techniques to manage the attack. Every step was a struggle, but her determination to finish the race was more substantial than her fear.
New York and New Jersey well represented in the 400-meter hurdles. USA's Sydney McLaughlin from New Jersey winning the gold, setting a new world record.
As soon as she crossed the finish line, Sydney collapsed and was immediately attended to by medical personnel. She was given her inhaler and oxygen, which helped stabilize her condition. However, the incident left Sydney shaken. The fear of another attack loomed over her future races, making every competition a potential trigger. She had to learn to manage her asthma more carefully, incorporating stricter routines and precautions into her training. Following this terrifying experience, Sydney and her coaches worked closely to ensure she had a solid plan for managing her asthma during races. This included regular monitoring, using preventive medication, and always having her inhaler on hand. In the end, Sydney admitted that the incident also taught her the importance of listening to her body and not pushing beyond her limits when her health was at risk. Do you see this as a potential risk for her, especially in the upcoming Olympics? What do you think about Sydney's chance to win a medal at the Olympics? Could any strange occurrence deter her?
Kishane Thompson has shattered the 100 meters world record, setting a new benchmark in sprinting and signaling a potential shift in the sports landscape that challenges the dominance of past legends.
So the Maverick was a part of a big discussion about the chances of new sprint sensation Kishane Thompson of winning the 100-meter gold in Paris.
Currently holding the title of the fastest man alive, Thompson's dominance in the 100 dash is undisputed.
Let's dive into it. This part is not in order, but Kishane Thompson first up. He's run 9.77 seconds, which is the current world lead in the 100-meter dash.
You know, today I feel like I got to show some of that. I didn't get to show nearly as much. I've been having a lot better block starts than I feel like I showed today.
The remarkable way in which Thompson achieved his record-breaking performance cannot be understated.
The favorite's Thompson, and I know Noah's the world champion. I think Noah made it a little bit more interesting by running that 981 into a headwind, which kind of almost converts to 977. But there's no way you can look at the way in which Thompson ran that 977 and just go, oh no, Noah will beat him. Noah is going to have his hands full with that guy.
There are striking similarities between the race patterns of Noah and Thompson, suggesting a shared understanding of sprinting dynamics.
And I think the most interesting thing about it is I think that he and Noah have very similar race patterns, right? They're not gonna kill. I look at this guy, Thompson, and I go, this is Asafa Powell. And Asafa Powell would have been a problem for anyone. Now, having said that, there are things which I see people completely ignoring.
Unlike many of his Olympic peers, Kishane Thompson has not yet been subjected to the intense scrutiny that often accompanies favorites.
Kishane Thompson has not been under the microscope of Olympic favorite. That's the first thing. 2, we all know rounds are a great equalizer. Noah has the medals that he does because of how well he runs rounds. So, is Noah suddenly, a lock for the silver? No, but he does have his hands full with Thompson. And I feel like if I had to bet now, it would be a toss-up because those two are pretty evenly matched.
The athletic world buzzes with speculation about the potential of newcomer Kishane Thompson to secure the 100 meters gold in Paris.
So the Maverick was a part of a big discussion about the chances of new spring sensation Kishane Thompson of winning the 100-meter gold in Paris. One school of thought was that Kishane is a rookie at this level, and with his inexperience, we don't know how he will cope with the pressure.
Under the guidance of the esteemed coach Stephen Francis, Thompson has emerged as a tough and formidable competitor.
The next school of thought was that Kishane seems to be a tough competitor, and he has in his corner the greatest to have ever done it in Stephen Francis. Plus, when Usain Bolt and Shelley and Fraser-Price did it in 2008, they too.
There's every reason to believe that Kishane Thompson can replicate Usain Bolt's legendary success on the track.
We're inexperienced rookies, so there is no reason why Kishane cannot do it like they did it. The counter to that was, because Bolt and Shelley did it, don't mean Kishane will automatically do it. And we will never know how Kishane will cope with that pressure until the moment comes and he copes with the pressure.
The unpredictable nature of the Olympics ensures that the outcome remains uncertain, adding to the excitement surrounding Thompson's prospects.
I think you'd be a little crazy to think, oh yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. Look, there's a reason why we take all those cameras there. You do not know what's going to happen. Think of all the things that happened at the trials that, all of us, including the so-called experts, thought, oh yeah, Christian Coleman makes the team, and I think Mo makes the team, and whoever you had that was like, huh? It's the Olympics for a reason. They write books on what happens to people that, everything doesn't go perfectly.
As of now, Kishane Thompson is the fastest sprinter globally, a status that has captured the world's attention.
The opening ceremony is right around the corner. It's just hours away. And the big question is, for the marquee event, who will be Usain Bolt's successor? Will it be Oblique Civil? Will it be Kishane Thompson? At this time, Kishane Thompson, the fastest in the world for 2024. Oblique Civil, it's like Usain Bolt's little brother at this point. It's Glenn Mills' prodigy.
The thing that's crazy to me about Thompson is I've seen these interviews after his races, and he's saying, oh yeah, my coach, Stephen Francis, he told me to only run the first 60 meters hard and to ease up, or he told me to let back. Like, this doesn't sound normal for a guy who's like going into the Olympics as the fastest guy in the world. Like, have we seen him go all out? And is there a reason why he's telling him to hold back? Is it because of his injury past? Like, what do you make of all that?
I would guess, this is only a guess, but I would guess that it's because of his prior injury past. But I know Frano enough to know that he's always he always has a project coming. Like this year, it was the twins, the Clayton twins, and one of them made the team. And she's kind of ahead of schedule because when he signed her, he said, hey, it's going to take me, whatever it is, 2-3 years. It's only taking him 1. Thompson is like that. He likes to have this project that a lot of people don't necessarily know about, that he's like, I'm going to work on this. He's had that in the past. The guy that won the long jump at Worlds, Budapest? Yeah. He always has this kind of project. I think he's having Kishane hold back because of the injury issues. And I think he's also like, no, we're going to let it hang when it's time to let it hang. And so far, he hasn't really had to let it hang. If you can win your Olympic trials looking like that, if you can win against Tobago, who, oh, by the way, Noah had to outlean at the last World Championship, if anybody forgets, then I think you do it.
Thompson's participation in the upcoming Olympic Games marks his first appearance on the global championship stage, setting the scene for a highly anticipated debut.
let's dive into it. This part is not in order, but Kishane Thompson first up. He's run 9.77 seconds, which is the current world lead in the 100-meter dash. And this is going to be his first Olympic Games, first global championships in any capacity. He's never been to the Olympics, never been to Worlds. His first kind of 3 rounds at a quote-unquote major, championships or major situation was at the Jamaican trials this year. So this is going to be a new frontier for him. So what does this all mean? Let's say that Kishane gets the gold medal. Well, that essentially confirms everything that Jamaicans have been saying all year, where they say that he's the next coming of Usain Bolt, of Asafa Powell, he's going to break the world record, he's going to run 9.6, right? All those things are kind of going to be justified to a degree if he gets that gold medal in Paris. And let's say, again, he gets that gold, it's justified. Jamaican fans, they go off on Twitter, they're like, yo, we told you, we knew that he was going to do it, oh yeah, like all that stuff, right? But then let's take a step back where maybe he gets the silver or the bronze and he loses to, somebody else. Depending on who he loses to, I think a lot of people are still going to say similar where, yo, we told you that Kishane is coming, he still has a couple years to go, he's going to be rising, this, that, whatever, right? People are still going to be able to, talk their stuff regardless. But let's say he doesn't get on the podium. Let's say he makes the final, finishes 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th or whatever it is, or even if he doesn't make the final, right? I think people are still going to give him a lot of grace. People will probably say, oh, this is his first global championships, first time at the Olympics, and he made the final, he was able to compete with the best. I think people will allow him to still have some time to grow because Kishane Thompson is still extremely young.
And that to me is the great equalizer. Anybody can, I shouldn't say anybody, but we all know that there's a difference between line it up in London, Zurich, Brussels, Monaco, one shot, and that's the result. It's a difference with, oh, now it's not your mom and your girlfriend in the stands per se, and you didn't sleep in your bed last night, and now you're 7 hours away from your time zone. Well, there are others who are going to be in that 100 who are used to that. They're used to the pressure. And the pressure is a big thing, and it's not something that, what I call civilians like to talk about, but it is a big thing. And if he's able to pull this off, that's, like I said, you write books about stuff like that, because when the year started, and I'm sure that's not somebody that a lot of people had as, oh yeah, pencil that guy in for being on the podium. I mean, we're talking about him winning gold, but the truth is, if he's even able to get a medal, it'd be the first medal that Jamaica has gotten since Bolt disappeared.